Hey, how's it going? In this video, I'm going to be talking about wall climbs. It's pretty conventional on most any platformer. It's something that I found particularly challenging, especially working way back in 2D. And a lot of those challenges kind of carried over now in the 3D platformer that I'm developing. I wouldn't say it's necessarily hard, it has a lot of layers of complexity, especially when you're dealing with root motion. So yeah, this is kind of the way I made sense of it. So basically you start the animation as a derivative of your most generic jump, nothing too special. And then what you want to do is take the upward motion loop, or if there is one, and start that as your start frame, or use that as your start frame, and just build it around any old proxy. I just use the cube. So there are generally 4 factors in checking to see if the player meets the conditions met for climbing. The first of which is a wall push vector to check to see if the body is pushed against the wall. It's generally around the torso area. After that, we have a ledge vector check, which is approximately the height difference of your root from the animation. You can basically just duplicate the push vector null and then calculate the difference. The next is an area free vector check, just to see if there's enough clearance to climb to. So we just take the ledge check null, duplicate it forward about the distance, move forward in the animation. And then the last check is basically to check if the player is grounded, which most platformers or character controllers have by default. So if the player is not grounded and is pushing into the wall, and there's no wall climb distance above the push null, and also if landing free area is slightly greater than the player height, at this point we can calculate the ending point. To calculate the ending point, we take the free space null and raycast it down to find the ground point. And then we recursively calculate the starting point by subtracting the animation offsets. It's also best practice to do a second check by measuring the distance of the player to the player landing point, or the calculated landing point, because in certain cases, anything can happen. Something can obfuscate the raycast, and this will snap the player to unexpected locations. Anyways, we snap the player position to the start null, trigger the animation, and start the climb coroutine. During the animation, I turn off all collisions and break out of the main loop. Once the player is fully standing, it will trigger a callback to the player control script and finalize the action. Here, I'll snap the player to the end null and lock in place for a split second, just to realign the collider. Initially, I'll offset the collider just a little bit upwards, just so it clears the ground, and then rapidly lerp it back to the default state. This is probably not necessary in a lot of situations, but in my case it really minimized the whole popping when the collider is reactivated. So yeah, there's my wall climb. It's work in progress, but it works in most case scenarios. You guys might keep extending it, maybe add some variance, maybe some shimmying or some IK interactions. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.